Hello and welcome to Faithfully Stampin' with Jennifer Helm. I am the Faithful Stamper and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I have today for you a card that is really easy. It's a quick little fun fold. This is a matchbook style card. So it's kind of reminiscent of the old style matchbooks. I don't know if anybody even still makes them anymore. So there's a little flap at the bottom that your card front tucks into. And then the card opens and then has your little message inside. And what's really great about this card is it can double as a gift card holder if you like. You simply have to find a gift card of your choosing, tuck it in the pocket, and then add it to your card and you're ready to gift it to your recipient. So this card was inspired by Karen Titus, who is a fellow Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Super simple, quick and easy, and let me get started teaching you how to make it. So to start, we're going to take a piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 11. This is Berry Burst cardstock that I'm using. I pulled all my colors right out of the Designer Series paper today. This is our Zinnia paper. This is from our online exclusive suite called Simply Zinnia. There's Designer Series paper, there are a stamp and die set as well, and some sequins you're going to see later on. Just a really beautiful suite of products. So you definitely need this style of paper to create the card with these measurements. You could probably do it with the other style of card base, but I would have to think a whole lot on how to make that, and I didn't want to get into that today. So this is it, 4 1/4 by 11. So you need a paper trimmer scorer or some kind of scoring tool. A scoreboard will work as well. And what you're going to do is score 2 times on the 11-inch side. So super simple. First, I'm going to put my cardstock at 1 inch and score. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold on that score line. I'm going to fold it down so my flap is on the bottom where I can't see it. I'm going to slide my cardstock back in and slide it over to 5 1/4 and then score it again. I could, if I really wanted to, swing open the extender arm and do 1 6 1/4, but this way I don't have to make that extra step. That's it as far as scoring. So we've already got the flap that we folded. This is going to create our little pocket. And then I can fold on the other score line, and I've got the basis of my matchbook formed already. So there are 2 options for sealing the pocket. The easy way, well, really, it's easy both ways, but one way to do it is to put dimensionals here on the outsides of the pocket. You could do 1 large one or 2 small ones. You do have to give them a good press because sometimes they do want to pop off and kind of not stay sealed. But it is an option if you don't like the one that I'm about to show you, which is using a stapler. So I'm going to fold my pocket closed. Kind of going to hold the paper together with my hands. And I've got the pocket on the bottom where I can't see it, and the fold for the pocket in my right hand here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work here on the fold, and I'm going to take an everyday stapler. You can use a mini one if you got one, or full size is fine. And you're going to staple from the back. And that's really important because the smooth side of the staple will be here on the back, so it won't catch your fingers of for you while you're making it or your recipients when they open it. And then we're going to cover up this pocket. So then we're covering up that kind of ugly, rough side of the staple. So I like to just kind of eyeball here. You can kind of see where your flap is. And one thing I caution you with, this happened to me a lot while I was getting my samples ready. I kept wanting to staple right close to the bottom. No matter how far I thought I was going in, I ended up closer to the bottom than I wanted to be. So maybe eyeball it a little bit and go in a little further. If it's too far, I'll give you an easy fix in just a minute for how to correct that. But that way you won't have holes where you don't want it or have to pull a staple out like I did once. So just kind of eyeball and staple, 1 on each side. I try not to get too close to the edge, just so I can ensure that my paper is going to cover that up. And here I did a good job there of getting my pocket. I could maybe have gone a little higher, but that's okay. I think it'll serve its purpose. If you happen to put your staples up too high, and when you put the flap in, if it doesn't want to lay flat, if it doesn't want to close, simple fix. Pop it back open, trim a little bit off right here until your flap tucks in nicely and doesn't buckle. Easiest fix in the world, right? Okay, now you can leave the staples alone if you want because we're gonna cover them up, but if they're a little rough or a little too big for you and you're worried about it, if it's not late at night and you don't have kids sleeping, get a little hammer out or a can of soup. You can kind of press on them a little bit, flatten them out just a little bit. I'm gonna use the base of my stapler here. I don't know that this does the best job, but you get the idea. Okay, so now we're ready to decorate. We're gonna start with a cardstock layer. This is 4 inches square. This is Blackberry Bliss. And to it, we are going to layer a 3 3/4 inch square of Designer Series paper. As I mentioned, it's that zinnia paper. If you wanted to add another layer, you could just go another 1/4 inch smaller. You could also make your borders thinner if you wanted to go by 1/8 of an inch instead of quarters. Experiment, have fun. So I'm just gonna layer these together. And then this gets put right on the front of the card. It's funny, my pocket's almost blending in. I almost couldn't see it. No special glue needed. Whatever your favorite adhesive is fine for this card. I'm gonna layer this on the front, just like so. And then I'm ready to tackle that pocket. Now you can add more than 1 layer to this if you like as well, but if you want to keep it a single layer, I have a piece of basic white cardstock. This is 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches. Your pocket is 1 inch tall, so you can move it up to like 7/8 of an inch, but you don't want a full inch width on your paper or height on your paper because then it'll be too tall. Okay, so I'm going to use our Sweetly Scripted stamp set, using the happy birthday here. For the inside of my card, I have Heartfelt Hexagon. I'm going to use this one. And then I'm going to use my beautiful zinnia stamp for a little accent. All of these can be found online at my website, thefaithfulstamper.stampinup.net. And if you prefer a paper copy of the catalog, please feel free to get in touch with me if you don't already have a demonstrator you're working with. And I will be happy to get you a copy of the catalog. Just remember, online exclusives are online only, so I can't show you those, but I can answer any questions you might have about them. All right, so I'm gonna grab a piece of scrap paper here and my piece of basic white. Blackberry Bliss ink to start with my happy birthday stamp. There we go. I really like the print and the swirl on this. While I'm here, I'm going to do a little bit more stamping. I'm going to grab my envelope and the Blackberry Bliss ink again. Zinnia on the corner for a little accent. And then for the inside, my basic white panel is 3 3/4 inch square. I could bump it up to 4. I could even play around with the shape a little bit, but I'm kind of sticking with 3 3/4 inch square for most of these. I'm going to go with Very Burst ink for the inside sentiment. Like this. If you prefer a little more room, you might definitely want to go with the 4 inch square or kind of play with the sizing a little bit. You don't have a ton of room to write, but you can kind of finagle it a little bit. I'm just going to put some little accents here on the corners just to kind of liven up that plain piece of cardstock. Okay, pardon. So I'm going to close my inks up because I think I'm done with those. And back to the card. So let's go ahead and put the inside in first. Again, no special adhesive, whatever you like on the inside. You do have some room to play with. So if you liked, you could always add a strip of Designer Series paper to the top or the bottom. As I said, you could extend your cardstock. So Do whatever you're comfortable with. And as you can see, we can put our gift card right there in the pocket if that's what we want to do. These do tuck in. Be gentle so that you don't accidentally pop your panel off the front. I almost did that earlier today. Okay, so we've got our strip. We're going to put it right here on the front of the card. You can layer it flat. It would have a little bump to it because of those staples. So I decided what I'm going to do is use my mini dimensionals to put this on the card. It kind of camouflages the staples in more ways than one because you can't see them, and they're not as noticeable with the little bumps. So if I stick to the top and bottom here, my staples will fit in between. And oop, already pulled the backing off that one. So once I get all the backings off my little mini dimensionals, oop, they're sticking to me. I'm just going to put this on the card, give that a nice press, and you can't really feel those staples at all. They're just a little bit there in the back. And if these really bothered you, you could really cover it with a piece of designer series paper if you wanted to. I hadn't thought about that, but you could. I'm going to go ahead later and stamp my personalized stamp on the back. Okay, so I'm going to add some sequins just to kind of finish this card off. So these are the sequins that coordinate with our zinnia set. And my biggest problem is always, what color am I going to add to the project? I think I'm going to put one down here this time. And then just add a couple more to the card. It should not be so difficult to figure out where you want to put your bling. All right, one more. I think I'll do there. So quick and easy, beautiful, just a quick fun fold. One thing I really like about these, they're easy to mass produce. Sometimes I feel like a broken record because I feel like every card I do seems to be that way. Maybe it's just the designs I pick. But you can get 2 of the card bases out of one 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, 4 of your 4-inch squares out of a sheet. And if you're using 12 by 12 paper, you can get multitudes of the 3 3/4 inch squares. So very quick and easy to mass produce these, whether you want them for cards or gift card holders. All right, so there is the card that we made tonight. You can see this one has the added layer if you like that look. But they all look different, mostly the same, but different just based on the DSP that is positioned. Now, at first when I made these cards, I thought, you know, I don't know that I can do any other orientation. I always like to mix it up, give you options with these cards. And then I thought about it again, and I thought, yes, you can. Now, I would not use a gift card holder in this case, but if I just wanted the card with the flap at the top, you could do that. Just reverse it and make sure your paper's running in the right direction. And, again, wasn't sure I could do it, and then I thought about it. You can actually flip the card on its side and have your pocket off to the right. I don't think I would do it off to the left, but if it works for you, go for it. So here, obviously, we stepped into the manly realm with the airplanes. And I just love the paper really speaks for itself here. Used a strip of DSP here instead of doing any stamping. A little banner, a little manly bling, and if my fingers work, there is a quick and easy birthday card. And as I said, easy to mass produce for these. I figured if I was cutting paper, I was definitely going to, there we go, make more than one because it was just kind of a no-brainer. Here is another airplane card. This one used the DSP as a backdrop for my large airplane, which I die cut. Put the banner here on the bottom, and then there is the inside of the card. This one has the dimensionals inside. You can kind of see here. I do kind of give them a press down to make sure they stay, but it's kind of a looser pocket, but still gets the idea across without leaving those staple marks on the back. Now, I went cutesy on these next cards. I was thinking about Get Well cards. Sadly, I need to make some of them. So this one I thought was appropriate. Sending a big hug. So it's there when you need it. I can write Get Well soon. And I could not decide between the cute little hamster or guinea pig sitting the fence on what this one is. And then the little badgers giving each other a little hug. And these feature some of our new in colors. If you haven't seen those, be sure to check them out. And then last but not least, if you want to turn this into a gift card holder, our Latte Love Suite is perfect. If you've got any coffee lovers, this card would be fantastic with either a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts gift card, or even a gift certificate to your local coffee shop. You could fold it up and put it in here, and that would be a great gift for someone. Here, I took the Designer Series paper and played with it, mixed and matched what went together. Fussy cut 2 of the coffee cups out. And then there's my birthday sentiment on the inside with some of the accents. I always hate when there's designs hanging off the edge of the paper that you can't use. Well, the ones on the corners were perfect for this card. So I love this, and this was a inspiration for my daughter's birthday card. She's a college student. They drink a lot of coffee. All right, so there is our quick and easy matchbook style card. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to make that card. Hope it sparked some creativity. Thank you so much for checking out the video. If you haven't already, I would love to have you here on the page as a subscriber. You can click that notification bell if you'd like a notification each time I post a video here on the page. And you can always find me over on Facebook as The Faithful Stamper. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and happy crafting.